Tevez da solo, Tevez al limite dell'area, fa fuori tutti, Tevez, si apre la porta, Tevez, gol, da dietro, Pirlo dentro,
Buongiorno Bianconeri, let's go. Napoli versus Juventus at the Maradona, a massive game with major implications. I'm still laughing. We got to get the green room sessions out there at some point because we wrapped up the green session with Omer calling the birds bastards. He's at these birds again. It's great stuff, funny stuff. Always something has us laughing leading into these shows, but it's going to be great stuff. Bob Yogasol in here right out of the gate. Ciao, AJC. 3 points, please. Andiamo. Luca Natale, nice to see you out of the field position, waking up early and getting ready for this one. My friend, I know you're going to be nervous. Luca's a pretty emotional guy. He's going to be very nervous. Anthony, Omer today, ready to cover this. Hey, are you guys nervous?
Yeah, absolutely.
Omer's nervous. Ant, how you feeling?
Come on, do I get no? I don't have the gurgly guts yet. I think that'll happen about what's kickoff for me? 2:45, probably about 2:43. I'm just going to be like in absolute agony. So, but right now I'm good. I am good, ready to go.
There you go. So there's been we haven't been covering a lot in terms of the investigation, and some sources here and there that are saying certain authorities are saying there's going to be penalization and points lost starting next season, all this stuff. Haven't really covered it because it's still, we know where we stand and we're waiting for that next step. But it's funny because you mentioned how you're feeling, Ant, and somebody keeps posting and he's having discussions with me about what's going on. I said, look, we know where we stand in the investigation. Just take it easy. All this is, of course, look at the outlets, look at what they're saying, and you can kind of make sense that, hey, maybe we shouldn't pay any attention to this because these guys are anti-Juve, always have been. And he said, I wish I had your nerves. And I said, no, I'm just old. That's how I feel. So I'm just old. Now I just get hyped up for games, okay? Not necessarily too nervous about this one. What will happen will happen. But we're going in good form, that's for sure. Whether we talk about the football not being to the likes of the majority of fans and want to see a little more beautiful, one thing's for sure, the results are there, and something's got to give today because you got a high-scoring team against a team that's only allowed 7 in the league altogether. So something's got to give. Or stalemate. Are we thinking stalemate? Yeah. Going to be an interesting one. Saying what's up to CJ today. Buongiorno. Let's fucking go. Yes, absolutely. Coming in hot. I like it. Jeremiah, guys, huge game. Huge.
It's not that big. Huge. According to Allegri, it's not that important.
Yeah, according to Allegri. But hey, that's funny too. We'll talk about that in the build-up. Him and Spalletti trading lines there. I love Spalletti too because it's like, hey, you can't flip this one, buddy. You got 7 points clear. This is big for you guys. You need to stay up there. So the pressure's on them no matter what Spalletti wants to do. And even if he wants to take a page out of Max's game plan. But let's go. Animesh taking a page out of Napoli's book. Napoli stink. We got this. All right. Let's go. And look at this. The GOAT is back. Look at
Skills,
that.
buddy. Skills with a Z.
Skip the capital letters.
RMD showing some love for Omer there. Let's go. Best attack, best defense. Battle of the gods. All right. Let's go, Jat. Big day, boys.
Wow, all my fellow really excited for this game.
Keeping well. This is a big one. So we're going to recap the news, and then we're going to get straight into this game, okay? So news, we're not going to go through all of it, and today it's very light on the news. Everything is geared towards this big showdown, okay? But as far as news coming through these days leading up to it, Cuadrado and Al Nassr, obviously, that has picked up Ronaldo, apparently want. And the rumors were that they would be happy to take him as early as next week, which is around when he's supposed to be fit again and everything. There were some shouts to sell Cuadrado. If they're that hot on him and we can make some money, sell him. Hey, what are we thinking, guys? If you can make some cash, do you sell him now?
All right.
Yeah. I think I would, honestly. Like I can't, get over the fact that since these guys got injured, Bonucci and Quadrado and Sandro here and there, we actually started playing much better. I get the roles, I get the way that Allegri likes to use them, but no, the evidence are there. Our run of form started when these guys stopped playing regularly and stopped having a guaranteed spot in the starting 11. And yeah, if we can cash in, we're short on funds right now, and we can use every amount of money. So we are going to lose him eventually by the end of the season anyway, which feels weird that El Nasser will go for him now when there's like 6 months left. But if they do, yeah, I probably would consider it because there are options on the market to fill that role.
Was Quadrado injured for many games before the World Cup break? Can't remember.
I think
Somebody help me out with that one. Anyways, neither here nor there. I agree with Bonucci. I sort of disagree with Omar in the sense of selling Quadrado now. We have a lot of games coming up. We've played 2 games since we got back. Like there's still a lot of football left. Ultimately, it would depend on the dollar value that they would offer. Like if they're coming in saying 10 million, not worth it. 15 million, not worth it. 20, okay. But you know what I mean? Like what's the dollar value? I think that would be the ultimate decision, but we have a lot of football left, and I think
Quadrado didn't
need
miss
depth at the right.
anything leading up to that break.
Right.
He was in there right till the break.
So I agree with Bonucci. I think Bonucci was a difference maker on the negative side. I really think in terms of depth, I think we do need him, and I think Allegri would want to keep him around till June for sure.
Yeah, by saying we should sell him, I also mean that we should definitely bring someone in. It's not just sell him and run with who we have. We gotta have someone instead of him. But sometimes you gotta capitalize on your chances to make money. Simple as
Yeah,
that.
it's just
That's fair.
really tough because I'm not like, hey, he got the job done last game against Udinese and stopped Udoji from really doing anything, McKennie, but I don't want to see him at right back the season out.
Maybe I'll put that to Lucci. If Quadrado leaves, you have McKennie at right wing back the rest of the season. Lucci, which one would you rather?
Well, not only that, but like let's talk about Sule. Like Sule can do it, but then you have to make some other alterations because if they can lock down a way to kind of take away as much defensive duties, and maybe you lock it down using 2 pivots as your midfield to support that side, and then just leave one midfielder attacking out of central. It can be done, and we can see Sule there. But is Max going to do that? I don't think so, but it would be great at this point if we're seeing Quadrado out and can get some money out of it, because otherwise he's just leaving for nothing. We need to start making some funds. But I kind of am with Anth. I do get it. Like, and Barbieri's a right back. Here's the other thing too, is like Max went to Sule the 1 game. He didn't follow it up against Udinese. And you'd have to think if Barbieri, if he was that close to getting in there and being able to take the reins for the rest of the season, a clutch portion of the season, everybody, he would have had one of those games against Udinese or Cremonese. So the fact that Barbieri didn't, we've only seen Barbieri in that those friendlies leading up to the second half of the season.
And yes, is he not just a right back, or is he a right wing back? I thought he was just a right back.
Right back, right wing back. Like, here's the thing is we haven't seen enough to feel that confident. We're going into a crucial period. Quadrado, I get it, and I'm with everybody. We're going to see him out at season's end. He's suffering when it comes to the attacking portions of the game. I get it. But defensively, Quad solidified everything, and he gave you more freedom out of the rest. And in the midfield, the attack and stuff, it's a tough call right now. And there's still some other pieces we need to see, but it's hard to say no to money. It's It's hard to say no to the money right now on a guy that's going to walk away. And I get that. But I think it's not
Let's go pimp yourself out then.
I think it's not so clear cut.
Can't say no to money.
Right? I think it's not so clear cut.
Yeah, Barbieri could easily be another Frabota. I mean, our desire to see youngsters is there, but we should also be logical. I'm not saying sell Quadrado and just use Barbieri. If you have no alternative to Quadrado, then don't sell him, because we've seen how the season goes and how much do we need and how close we are to injuries every game that could rule someone out. And if Barbieri is another Frabota, so do we run with him? I think everyone would say no. Youngsters is fine. Sometimes you need to ease them in. Sometimes you need to throw them in the water. We don't know what Barbieri is yet, but I am confident in him. I do think he's a good player.
Yeah.
I think we have a string of games here where you could play Barbieri. You got Monza twice, even though Monza
we'll have to play him. We'll have to play him. We have tons of games. Like in January, it's mid-January, and we're not done with the first half of the season yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just if the alternatives are, and even Chiesa, people are bringing up Chiesa. Lucci's bringing up Chiesa. It's pretty funny. I think Lucci might have even bitched about Max playing him there, but now all of a sudden, hey, we got 100% Chiesa,
he did.
Right wing back. Mm-hmm. No, I want to see Chiesa in the free roaming second attacker's role where he can go left or right. I don't want to see him pinned to the right wing back spot. If we have to use him in certain games and play him there, that's great too. But again, I don't want him doing that work. So I don't know. Lucci says he likes Chiesa as a right wing back. Okay, cool. To each their own. Look, if you feel confident in that, sell Quadrado. Now, the news is probably just nothing. We just like hypotheticals, okay? So,
100%.
Sandro, this was another one that kind of came out of nowhere. And apparently there's a clause. So, Gazzetta pulling this all out. So, we were feeling okay. We were feeling fine. Until our boy Mirko Di Natale comes in and says, yeah, I could confirm that there is a criteria there that makes they could trigger an automatic 1-year renewal at the same 6.5 million salary for Alex Sandro. And apparently the early rumors are it's appearance based, but we don't actually know that. But based on what's going on with this team right now, if it was appearance based, he's probably going to hit it, because right now, Sandro, Bremer, Danilo is our go-to at the back.
Correct.
Sandro automatic renewal. Now, everybody, this goes back. He extended in 2018, which makes it a Beppe Marotta fucking automatic renewal, much like that of Juan Cuadrado's. Automatic renewals. I never want to hear that again with Juventus. Sandro. So everybody, this is so funny because it literally came days after people were saying, hey, we should keep Sandro even at a reduced salary. And I'm like, no, it's time to move on, whatever. I get it. He's done his role well. Here's the thing. This is why. If we don't stay in a 3-5-2, Sandro is pretty much rendered useless.
Correct.
So he's as good as done when it comes to fullbacks. And if you're not going to play him in a 2-man center back, I wouldn't anyways. So it's 3 center back or nothing. And if we move away from that, which might happen if we bring in some solid fullbacks, could very well turn this team into a 4-3-3 next season. I don't see the point. But now an automatic renewal for Sandro, someone that could technically just be useless if we go to a 4-3-3, I don't like that at all. That's a bummer. Yeah. Guys, automatic renewal, Sandro.
Go ahead, Omer.
Yeah, so the negatives are obvious. Like, I don't feel like I need to repeat them. No one likes Sandro. No one wants him to stay. No one wants that renewal. So I'll look at it from the positive side. The one positive I can find here is that by renewing him, we might have a chance to sell him in the summer for some money. That's
interesting.
That's the only positive I can see. If he does get renewed, we can sell him to El Nasser or back to Brazil, but back to Porto, whoever is interested, and make some money off him instead of losing him for free.
Then you might have to cover his wages or part of it.
It'd still be a loss. Yeah, you're not gonna. It's a sale, but it's not technically a sale.
It's a positive. I like where he's going.
There, wait and see. You have tons of leagues who like those type of players, especially the Chinese league, who's full of Brazilians, all Brazilians who stop playing in Europe, who pay them a lot of money. You don't need to cover any salary and nothing. But if he wants to stay in Europe, then yeah. But it's all hypothetical.
We just need some carrots and potatoes, and Al over here is going to make a big stew with himself. So the thing with Sandro is he has not played bad this season. So it's hard to say, well, he's on the decline because he's in that you're in the 3-man back. He hasn't been an issue at all.
No,
for me,
I agree.
My opinion. I agree with you, Al, that if we go to 4 at the back, then that's going to be a bit of a problem. But is there any indication that this team is going to switch to a 4-3-3 this year or 4-4-2? No. Next season, I understand. I get it. Things could change. Depends on who you bring, who's coming in, who's going out. Formation could change. I wouldn't be very upset if we had to renew him for another year. I would still want to see a replacement brought in, though. Someone to back him up. He doesn't get as many appearances. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it based on his play this year. Yeah. Because we said the same thing about Rabiot. Okay, he's had a bad couple seasons, but based on his play this year, you know, he deserves a potential renewal for less than 10 million, obviously. But, you know, can't talk out of both sides of your mouth with players. For me, if Rabiot's having a good year, Sandro's having a good year,
but it's
they
not
potentially
the same
deserve
case.
to stay.
But it's not the same case because the age difference makes it harder. Like Sandro has nowhere to grow.
Yeah.
And to become better. Rabiot still, you could see has talent in him that he couldn't translate, or managers didn't know how to use him correctly. Maybe Allegri figured it out, was thrown out on the left flank most of the time. And he had room to grow, so you would consider it. Sandro, at his age, it's just a loss of money.
Yeah, the thing with Rabiot, too, is like I said, I think it was our last show, I just said he's earned the discussion for the renewal and whatnot. But when it comes to mommy, you know, staying strong for 10 million euros at salary, there's the door. See you later. See you later. All right. Yeah, it's just interesting when you start hearing these things, and it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Here's an interesting one too, because rumors are circulating about him. A lot of rumors. Okay, rumors of the potential that he's maybe unhappy, maybe thinking about other clubs. You got Arsenal always kind of linked with Vlahovic, and we've seen both sides. You've heard that Arsenal's stated no, they don't want Vlahovic, whatever, and then you still hear links and reports. But Bayern, you hear Bayern coming again. You know, like they did De Ligt and whatnot. Here's the thing. Let's just say this. I just want to get your opinions. Let's say team comes in 110. It's still in Juve's control. Okay.
Yes.
And a team comes in 100 million, 110. Do you sell Vlahovic or do you keep him? Let's say a team comes in and they buy, because I don't think Bayern's going to spend that kind of money on a player. But let's just say, for shits and giggles, a team comes in and says, "Hey, we'll give you 105 million for Vlahovic." Do you sell him or do you keep him?
I would keep him. I wouldn't sell. Just his breed of players is so rare to find. Young strikers who have experience and are that physical, and he's going to flourish somewhere. And I think we've sold enough young, promising players to learn by now to not let them go that early and give them more than 1 or 2 seasons to shine. And Vlahovic has been here for 1 year. He's been injured for a lot of it. Last season was awful. We wanted to bank on him to save it, but honestly, it wasn't realistic. And now that the team is performing better and we are going to improve, I hope, for next season and for the rest of this season, let's see what he does then. Okay? He came in with a huge price tag, a lot of, they've thrown everything at him, and Arriva Bennett just kept putting all of the weight of the team on his shoulders. And we got to remember, he's 22 years old, 23 now. Give him time. He didn't, earn the right to be sold after 1 year, no matter the price.
That's a tough one.
That's a lot of Chicoria. Okay, 100. Okay, hang on. 110 million would mean that we're only making 40 million, right? Because we paid 70 for him?
70 plus amortization. So in terms of capital, it's actually higher than 40.
And we're still paying it.
Straight purchase to sell. Yeah, it's 40, but it's actually more because of amortization.
I see. I see the chat here is quite mixed. We don't have anyone to really replace him. The young player there is a Keenan. Yeah, Yildiz. He's not ready. Like, he's only 17. He might be the guy in the future, but he's not the guy now. And to Omer's point, Vlahovic hasn't played with anybody at Juventus. Everyone's been injured. It's been a mishmash lineup for second half of last season, first half of this season. I'd like to see him out there regularly with Chiesa and Di Maria and Pogba and Locatelli, right? And then we should give it a fair shake. But
that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
Based on what we've seen so far, let's take the injuries out of it. Let's talk about performances and whatnot. I mean, his rate is good. Does he have a high ceiling, like a high potential? Absolutely. Does it necessarily mean he's going to hit it? No. And there's nothing that's guaranteed. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a player that might not actually be that guy. We still, like, he's good. He's a good young striker. There's no question about it. Can he be that guy? I think there's some that say he's mentally weak. They find mental weaknesses in him. We've seen an attitude shift from earlier in the season to when he was coming back after Retiro and stuff like that, but it kind of faded too. And like I said, we haven't seen Vlahovic since the team has been on this streak, which we still stand by, but that's a lot of money, guys. That's a lot of money.
But maybe we're a bit hypocritical, all of us, towards the players that we like more and like less. Because if you say the same thing about Chiesa and even double it, a lot of people would still say no. Because he's a great player and everyone loves him.
For double.
Chiesa, in my opinion, is one we need to build around. He's got great for wages. I think he's actually down to the cause. I think if something were to happen, and let's just say some went sideways, and you start looking at these guys, who's going to be the bandiera or whatnot, I don't think Chiesa would leave. I think Vlahovic would leave in a heartbeat. I actually truly do. I think Vlahovic, and I've said this, I think he's out for himself, which is fine because some players do that and everything. But I think, if push came to shove or whatnot, I don't think Vlahovic would put his neck out or anything for Juve. But Chiesa, I think Chiesa would. I think we need to build around Chiesa. Making Vlahovic a focal point of a team, and again, I'm looking from the outside in. I'm looking at little things, and maybe I'm overanalyzing certain things. Even when I was there in Los Angeles around the team training for that session and just watching him interact with fans and everything, looking at his demeanor, his attitude, I don't think he's a focal point.
He could have been having a bad day, though.
Guy, personally.
He could have had the shits. You don't know. He could have been having a bad day. He could have had to go to the washroom. That's one.
Doesn't matter, man. It doesn't really matter. It's all excuses.
I'm not shaking hands if I got it.
I'm just thinking, looking overall, looking at performances, looking at like attitude, everything. Chiesa came in at not even 100% and made contributions, made his way, impacted games already. Vlahovic, we've been feeding ourselves this poor service, all this, when the numbers are pretty much the same between Milik and Keane. So it's like, yes, we like Vlahovic. We want him to succeed, but 105 or 110 mil, it'd be hard to say no, I think, personally. And I love Vlahovic. I hope it works out, whatnot, but I'm thinking if I had to pinpoint a guy on this team we build around, it's fucking hands down Federico Chiesa. Without a doubt. In my mind, he is this team's best player.
There's no question about that. And like we had to buy Vlahovic after Chiesa got injured. So we didn't get to see all of our guys play together. But I think we're sometimes a bit too concerned with the financial side of Juve, like generate money wherever we can, no matter who. And I'm not there yet. Like I feel Vlahovic still has something to give and something to prove, and he deserves more chance than what he got so far. But I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. He signs for Bayern. We sell him for 120 million, and he bombs there, and we made the deal of our lives.
Hey, we felt a certain way about Matthias de Ligt, and hey, we made the move. We picked up Bremer, and we haven't even looked back. So I'm just saying, there's players out there, and when you're looking at Juve's financial status at the moment, things need to change, and guys need to be sold. We can't just be happy because Sandro's going to walk, Cuadrado's going to walk, Rabiot's going to walk. You got to make money. You got to make some money. And if it came down to it, that's a hard one to pass up, in my opinion, because I think we would be getting more than his value, definitely for what we've seen so far. So
this is a good point too.
Always lingering around that you could bring in, and you just never really know. Nobody wanted Milik. Milik came in, had a major impact on this team.
Not the Milik part on this one, but you're looking at 30 to 50 million for a striker anyways. So, you sell him, whatever you make off of that sale essentially just potentially could just go right to another player. So
yeah, that's true.
It's a tough one. But I'm with Omer on this one to say let's see how this goes.
Oh, of course.
He may bang 20 goals.
Now,
he may bang 20 goals the second half.
Man, it's interesting to see. And like I said, the chat, you had some people split there and whatnot, but it's a lot of money. It's a lot of chicoria, as Ant likes to say. A ton. Now,
and I agree with Apex that the Holland comparison didn't do him any favors. But no, look at overall.
He did those himself too.
Yeah, and Holland is playing fantastically, and Man City are doing worse than they did last season.
I can't remember who asked it, and it was on this show, and they said, like, who scores more goals on on the Juve side or whatever? Does Haaland come in and score on this Juve team? And I said, absolutely, 1,000%. Haaland would come in here and score goals
because he works. He's got a big engine to him.
It's like, I don't know. And again, I always go back to this attitude and body language and whatever with Vlahovic, but like Haaland is like a robot, man. There's no emotion. There's nothing there. It's just laser focus, and he just makes his runs. He knows where to go. He just sniffs out goals. And he could score them from range. People are like, well, look at all his goals with Man City. Well, he's still like, whatever, you're scoring goals. Like it's a skill to know where to be and where to go and make those runs. Like someone was telling me Haaland was overrated the other day. I'm like, what? Take it easy.
He's not overrated, but
breaks.
Let's not forget he played for super attacking teams. Like playing a striker for Man City is not the same as playing for Juve. It requires different attributes because City has the ball like 65% of each match. They put in at least 50 balls into the area every match. We don't have those luxuries, so maybe I believe he's better. He's better than Vlahovic.
Playing on a counter-attacking team still. If a team tries to close us down, you have Haaland at the top and you can hit him. That's just more space for him. Like if you had Haaland in here, it'd be easier for us to pin teams back and they would play that wall. And then Allegri could play his cross game and we could probably do some more damage. Haaland's a monster. Let's move on to Napoli because this is crazy. It's crazy. Crazy. You guys are crazy.
We said the same thing about Ronaldo potentially not getting service, and he banged 100 goals in less than 3 years.
Yeah. It's true.
These players, they just find a way, man. They find a way.
Napoli, Juve.
Like me. Find a way.
Should we kick it off with some trivia? Let's have some fun. Let's get into some trivia here before we get into this matchup
trivia
thing. Napoli,
ages.
Juve, 178 matches.
That's a lot.
How many wins for the good guys?
I'd go with 100.
Well, Napoli had 2 good years, so there's 4 for them.
We had a couple of bad years back in the 2010s where they kept
There's
winning
6
with
for
Lavezzi
them.
and Cavani.
178. Go ahead.
I'd go with 108 wins for Juve.
I'm going to go 101.
I think it's below 100,
I
actually.
think it's 100. Yeah. I was going to say 98, but I was like, yeah, sounds better. 101 sounds better.
You're both incorrect.
God damn it.
Damn. How incorrect?
An inch or a mile. Wrong is wrong.
Oh, come on.
98 wins from Jeremiah. You're closer, Jeremiah. You're closer than these guys.
Okay, let's go 91. I believe.
Closer.
86.
Very close.
85.
84. 84.
Damn.
84 wins for Juve. Who has more goals in this fixture? Alessandro Del Piero or Gonzalo Higuain? Higuain played for both clubs too.
He
I don't
scored.
think he scored against us when he played for Napoli. I don't remember him scoring against us.
He scored a lot for us against them, though.
Yeah, and Napoli weren't always in Serie A when the Euro played.
That's right.
Higuain or Alessandro Del Piero? Who has more goals in this fixture?
I'm gonna say Del Piero
Higuain.
by like. I'm gonna say Del Piero by like 1.
No, Higuain has like 5 or 6.
The chat
No.
is all Gonzalo Higuain.
Yeah,
No,
they're cheating. They
Del
can
Piero.
Google.
Juve 12 has come in with Del Piero.
I think Del Piero too.
By 1.
It is Alessandro Del Piero by
Yeah, see
2. 11
See, like
goals.
the chat.
Higuain 9.
You know, the
All
bleachers.
right.
You know, God bless them all for tuning in. We appreciate it, but you guys don't know what you're talking about.
Last 10 matches. Take it easy, Mr. 101 wins against Napoli. Last 10 matches. 5 wins for each side. One of those being a shootout in the Coppa Italia for the clown show. So it's going to be interesting here, but man, this match, it's tight. It's tight. Who remembers the last result against Napoli? Can you tell me about the last game that we faced them?
I had toast for breakfast. No idea.
We
That's
lost
as far back as I remember.
We lost 1-0 at Naples when Koulibaly scored late goal. That was the first half of the season.
That was the first half of the season you're talking about.
Yeah.
So our last game. Do you remember our last one?
The last one.
The last one last season. I'm
trying to look at the chat here. I gotta shut the chat off.
Was a draw.
A 1-1 draw.
Did Vlahovic score in that one?
I was going to ask, who are all our goal scorers? Because we have everybody here in the chat getting it. 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. It's our goal scorer.
Okay.
Sorry. Did Vlahovic score in that one?
No.
No.
No. Danilo was against Atalanta. Late equalizer. I think Morata. I'm guessing Morata.
Chat's got it, though.
I turned it off.
Nailing Anthony after his comments. Chiesa goal. Chiesa was our goal scorer. And he's going to bag one today.
Chiesa, 100%. Again with that avatar.
Chiesa's going to bag it again
How?
today.
How?
Besides Gonzalo Higuain, give me a player who transferred between these two teams. That's all you got to do. One player that transferred between these two sides.
Pacienza, Cannavaro, not between them, but Pacienza, Ciro Ferrara. And
Cannavaro
that's
is
about it.
not on the
No, it's
list
not a
here.
straight swap. No, it's not a straight swap. It was at Inter and Parma. No, I said Michele Pacienza back in 2012.
How the hell do you remember that?
Pacienza. You could have also said Quagliarella.
Oh, yeah.
We have
But
back in the
Quagliarella,
days Ciro Ferrara,
I
an
said
absolute
Ferrara.
beauty.
Yeah.
So look at that Ferrara coming in here. Quagliarella. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. All
Did
right.
Milik didn't come direct from Napoli though?
No, he came from Marseille.
Right.
Yeah.
But didn't Quagliarella came from Udinese? I remember him playing for Udinese most of the time.
Quagliarella had a couple of transfers between Napoli and Juventus.
Okay.
Loans, too. One was a loan, I believe. Two might have been loans. But now let's get to the good stuff, everybody, okay? News and shit's out of the way, okay? Let's get to the good stuff. Odds, betting players out there, let's go. Napoli, favorites.
Yep.
Pays
Plus
about
150.
still at 1.95 your money. Draw is almost 3.5 times your money. Juve winning, hey, 4-1. I like that. Juve at 4-1. All right, let's
put
go.
some bets down.
Napoli, we've talked about this at the start here. You've got your offensive side, okay? So between Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia, they've got 12 and 11 goal involvements each. Napoli has scored 59 goals in 23 matches. The flip side, Juve's only allowed 7 in league play. Is something going to give? Are we heading for a stalemate? They were subpar against Inter. Obviously got the win in the next match again against a pretty light side. So it's going to be very, very interesting today. All right. Their title credentials are going to be put to the test today. I've always said it's a hell of a lot more difficult to remain at the top, especially come second half of the season. We're going to see if their title credentials are legit or not. I'm hoping, because that would mean that Juve put them to the test. And that's what we absolutely have to do. Okay. Test their credentials today. Juve, 8 wins on the trot without conceding a single goal. Ugly or not, it does not matter. The numbers are there. That's fact. It's not opinion. We're getting the job done. Last time they had 8 in a row was still under Max Allegri in 2018. Shocker. All right. So we're at 8 in a row. Something has to give today. Napoli, as far as Napoli, they are healthy. Any decisions that are made are going to be tactical by Spalletti. Okay. As far as Juve goes, hey, we know the drill. McKennie's probably going to be out there at right wing back. Vlahovic is out. Pogba's still out. Bonucci's out. Quadrado's out. De Sciglio's out. Bremer is in the lineup today. Okay, so Bremer is back. 29 matches against Juve. Spalletti has 3 wins to his name. Let's keep it at 3 wins today. Guys, before we get into predictions and getting into all that, how do you think this one's going to go? What's your gut telling you? Who wants to kick us off?
Anthony.
Okay. Spalletti is a massive choke job. We know that every season. It's pretty, it's written in the books. It's actually, I think it's in the dictionary under choke job. You just see you see his picture in there. Now he's had a good team. He's had a good run. A little bit of a shaky start to this second half of the season. We're not halfway there. Al perfectly said, it's harder to lead out front than it is to be the chaser. I think he's going to have a big squeaky bump today. I think he's really nervous about this one. He's got to get his tactics right because Allegri's, he can switch his up a little bit, but Allegri is what Allegri is. I think Spalletti's going to get into his own head, and I think they're going to falter today. I think Max has a game plan. I think he has a game plan for their 3 main players, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, Omer.
Look, this game has a lot on the line. Like a win here, and we narrow it down to 4 points from Napoli, and hurting their sort of momentum that and this invincibility feelings that they have. Although they lost to Inter, they weren't impressive against Sampdoria, even when Sampdoria had a red card. They didn't look like they did before the break. And the flip side is a loss here widens the gap again to 10 points. And if Milan wins, they can go past us. So there's a lot on the line. I'm super nervous. Having said that, look, it's not even been half a season yet. We haven't completed the first round of games, and look how much has happened in just 17 games since August up until now. So we still have like an entire season to play, and a lot can happen. Like this win or lose isn't, determining the ultimate winner of the league. I don't know. If Juve does win, it will be a slim win, 1-0, 2-0. Napoli are no pushovers, and their midfield is just sublime. Very hard to predict. I think 1-0, 2-1. Sao Paulo is always a tough venue to play in, the Maradona Stadium now. I'm not too confident, but I think it's draw is. I don't know. It's tough to predict.
Before we get to TikTok's stuff over here, Omar, is the Scudetto gone with a loss today?
No, absolutely not.
I agree.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go, Al.
Yeah, so mind games from Spalletti and Allegri. I said yesterday on the daily update video, and guys, we know who Max is. So expecting him to say anything different in these pressers, don't do it. All right. He never gives the other team any fuel. Okay.
Nothing.
He will let them run dry in the desert before giving them anything. Okay. So he's not going to do it. And he didn't do it yesterday. Spalletti, though, may have given us a bit of fuel. Okay. He's trying to flip it. He's trying to deflect it. He's playing the same game, saying that, no, Juventus has all these champions there. Their objective is not top four. It's Scudetto and Champions League. Taking a little dig there, knowing that we're out of the Champions League. Use it,
I didn't
boys.
take that as a dig.
Use it, boys, and take it to these guys. Okay. Fuck Spalletti. Now, let's go. These are what the lineups could look like. Okay. So obviously for Juve, the projection, this is what we've been seeing a lot of. The only real catch has been whether or not Max was in fact going to play Chiesa and Di Maria at the same time. I said it all week. If you're a betting man, don't take that bet. Expect one of Chiesa or Di Maria to play. Di Maria is still not at 100%, so everybody's got to kind of remind themselves of that. If it were me, and I wouldn't fault Max for either decision, this is just me, I would start Di Maria and bring Chiesa in the second half early on, probably like 55 minutes. That's what I would do.
So just on that one there, yesterday, so Mirko Di Natale yesterday had Chiesa starting on the right with Di Maria up front, and Romeo Agresti had McKennie in for Chiesa and Di Maria starting up front. McKennie on the right instead of Chiesa on the right.
Yeah. Today, though, we're seeing McKennie, right wing back, Di Maria in behind Milik. The midfield, Rabiot, Locatelli, Fagioli. I said this is the midfield I would use. I didn't like any of the projections about Paredes, Loca, and Rabiot. Not enough variance. If we go back to when we started this whole thing, this was our midfield three. I think it's our best balanced midfield three. I like it. Kostic on the left, no brainer. Sandro, Bremer, Danilo, absolutely. Szczesny in goal. Let's fucking go get the job done. If you look at Napoli and what they're going to do, what's going to be interesting is obviously he's had a big impact, and that's Kvaratskhelia for Napoli. McKennie is going to have a tough job. He's going to have to get the job done and shut that player down. So while we're going to have frustrations about McKennie offensively, that's not going to be his gig in this one whatsoever. His job's going to be to find Fagioli and find Di Maria and find them quickly. And honestly, that's all we should expect out of it. So let's not get too fired up on the whole fullback thing, because I think his job is going to be like he was doing with Udoji. shut down Kvaratskhelia, and that's going to be a tougher job than shutting down Udogie. But hey, let's hope he gets that job done. That's going to be part of it. We're going to flood the midfield. Their midfield strong. Zielinski, Lobotka, Zambo, Anguissa. Hey, they've got a solid midfield. It doesn't look flashy on paper. It gets the job done. Our midfield's going to be tested. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, another important encounter on the field is Bremer Osimhen. Like the way Inter won against them is that Acerbi completely marked Osimhen out of the game, and even Bremer talked about it. He had some quote. Someone interviewed him, and he needs to shut Osimhen down. Without a reference point, Napoli find it harder. And when Osimhen is on his day, he's tireless. He never stops running, and he uses his body and his physique a lot. That's up to Bremer. I want to see a performance from him that will justify a win. If he loses Osimhen, that's not good for us.
So something that should be noted here is that teams had 2 months to look at tape on Napoli. I know they're looking at it all the time, but during the week, like Allegri says, we don't think about last game, we look at the next game. So normally the next game is either 3, 4, 5 days away, but teams had that whole winter break to look at 15 games of tape of Napoli. So don't kid yourselves. Allegri is going to be ready for this one. I'd be shocked if he isn't.
Here's the thing. No matter what way you slice it, something has got to give. Everybody's talking about Juve starting to get back to Juve ways, winning ugly, keeping clean sheets, and stopping it. This game could be another indication of Juve getting back to who they were, because they always found a way, no matter how ugly they were playing, to get the job done in the big ones. Max got a big one before the break against Inter. This is the next big one for this team. And it's going to tell us a hell of a lot more about ourselves. And I'm feeling just anxious. I just want this kickoff to be like right now. I'm ready for this thing. Of course, doing the watch along. Everybody, I hope to see you there. Let me call the action for you. These things have been great. Everybody's been giving wicked feedback. So I'm glad you guys just enjoy it. They've been muting the commentators and having me call the action. Hey, I love it. That's a massive compliment to me. So thank you. Everybody, like the video right now. We're going to do predictions and then get to storm the barn, okay? So Anthony and Omer, who wants to kick us off on the predictions for this one?
I want you to kick us off.
You want me to?
It.
Oh, yeah. I know your little mind tricks here. Omar just thinks I copy his predictions. Well, I've actually got them right, so I can't be.
I don't have them. I just made them up on
I'm
the
just
go,
giving you a
and then
hard time. It's
copied
just last time Joe Cappuccino joins us, picks the exact same one off Omer. Omer doesn't say a peep. I do it.
Here once every 3 months. You do it every show.
There's
Well, it's
no
not my
way you have the
fault.
same predictions. Hey, simmer down, you two.
All right,
There's
here we
no
go.
way you have the same predictions as me. There's zero chance.
1-0 Milik.
Napoli. Napoli finds a goal. We don't keep the clean sheet streak going. Juve wins it 2-1. Your match winner, Federico motherfucking Chiesa. All right.
Okay.
2-1. Juve
angry, but
finds a way. Okay.
simmer down a little bit.
And I'm gonna say Chiesa with the winner. For another tie break, I will go with this.
I gotta write mine down.
I will just say Juve maybe first yellow in this one, and it's going to be one of our midfielders getting the first yellow. If I have to pinpoint one, I'm probably going to say it's Locatelli. Locatelli yellow to be our first card of the game, okay? That's me. Who's going next?
I can go because Omer's still thinking. Okay.
Oh, Alex P. 3-0 Juve. Let's go. Not even a whiff for now. Come on.
This game, as much as it pains me to say it, this game is going to finish 1-1. I'm going to do something a little bit different with the goal scores. One goal is going to be an own goal, deflection own goal. The second is going to be scored by a defender. I will take the half point if I get the defender right because I'm not naming a player, but one own goal, one defender. Final score is going to be 1-1. You guys can decide which team gets which. But
All right.
I'm going to go with 7 corner kicks for Juventus. I'm going to go with 46% possession for Juve.
Okay.
And do I need another one?
No, you're like 5 in, man. You're good.
There we go.
Omer.
Boom.
Okay. 6-0 Juve. All goals scored by Sandro. And this is the part of the day where I start to lose my sanity before the game, before stressful games. Last time out was against Villarreal. And I think we'll continue the 1-0 trend.
Did you say Sandro scores?
All 6, yeah. No, I'm kidding. 1-0.
Oh.
And I think...
Sorry, man. It's too late. I got you booked for 6-0 and Sandro.
Okay, but I get 6 points if that happens. I get all your winnings because I know Ant put money on it.
I already did, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. No, I'll go with 1-0. I think Kostic is going to be the scorer.
Oh.
And yeah.
Keeping the clean streak alive. And
does he have any goals this year?
Not a whiff for Napoli, 3-0. He's got Keane with the brace and 1 for Fagioli. What are your tiebreakers, Omer? Besides Kostic goal.
I'll take another one. I'll call... Okay, that's a strange one. I'm calling 8 yellow cards.
8?
For both.
8
for both
yellows combined.
Total.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Not saying 4 to this team and 4 to that team, just 8 combined. Gonna be a really aggressive match.
No reds.
All right.
Possibly a red card. Not saying, but if it's a red card from 2 yellows, then it still counts for me.
It would be unfortunate either way if there's a red card shown in this game. I think the ref is Orsato the referee. I thought I saw that yesterday. Somebody put that in there.
I think so.
There, but I can check.
We can, check it out, Omer.
I really hope that there isn't one, but I can see to your point, Omer. I can see some yellows coming out early just to calm everybody down.
Set the tone, yeah.
Just to set, which you shouldn't. The ref shouldn't do that. He shouldn't need to show yellows to set the tone. But if that happens, then you might be right.
It's Daniele Doveri.
Domenico De Fazio, I agree with a draw. I'm nervous about this one. It's a loss or a draw for Juve. I hope I'm wrong. I think we squeak it out, my friend.
I wasn't nervous when we started the show.
I think we squeak it out.
I wasn't nervous when we started, but now.
Omar, who's the ref?
Daniele Doveri.
Storm the barn, everybody. Storm the barn. Now's your time to get your questions in. If there's something you want us to discuss, tackle, or whatnot, or our opinions on, let's go. We've got a couple in here.
Who's this
Let's
guy?
get to it. One's not really a what do we got here for Jeremiah? If we concede first against Napoli, how do you think the team will react if we can? Well, this is a question that's been following this Juve side because during the streak haven't had to worry about it. Obviously, we haven't conceded a single goal. But what do you guys think? How do you think we're going to react?
I don't think Allegri changes anything much. So earlier in the season, when the second half, we were playing terrible in the second half of games, we were looking tired. That's gone away. So we've gotten better as the game goes on. If Napoli scores first, Max will not change a goddamn thing. He will stick to his plans. I honestly think Max is happy with a draw here, and they should be. You're away, you're chasing them. I think a draw in Max's grand scheme of things is an acceptable result. So I don't think going down 1-0, he'll change a thing.
Yeah.
Should he? Probably, but I don't think he will.
It's not in his game plan. Like an early goal, an early red card throws all your tactics out the window usually.
A red card does, but a goal.
Oh, an early goal usually, when it comes to bigger teams, those smaller teams don't get hyped because of this stuff. But when it's a game like that, the goal takes you out of balance, especially when you haven't conceded in 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to see the same thing we saw in the previous games. Juve mostly defending in the first half. There are some upsides to it. For example, Kvaratskhelia doesn't finish matches. I don't think he played 90 minutes for one game of the season. He always comes out at the 60th, 65th minute. Doveri is the Inter fan referee, but he did officiate Juve Inter, and we won comfortably there. So I'm not worried about the referee. An early goal could be a deciding factor in this match. I hope we don't concede it. I think Max's game plan is to first not concede, finish the first half, maybe grab a goal, and go on the front foot in the second half.
Yeah.
Sort of a silly question, but I'd like
Always.
it's okay. Would you be more comfortable Juve scoring first or conceding first? Because if Juve
Scoring
scores first, I it's going to be like if we score early, it's going to be 85 minutes of us just sitting back. That's
No.
I don't
It's
actually think so. And obviously, if I'm going to have to pick, I'm going to pick scoring first because I don't want that crowd fired up. I don't want them
Yeah,
to start
fair enough.
fueling that team. And again, if we're worried about how this team's going to react, I'm not necessarily so worried about how Juve is going to react. Over the past streak, we've been actually very balanced and we have been creating a lot. The goal tally's not as high as it should be, but we've been actually creating good. I agree with Anthony. I don't think anything changes if we go down one. All right. But there's going to be some keys to this game that we have to remember. We're a bit makeshift because McKennie's on that right wing back. What does this do to our midfield? I expect 2 pivots. I expect Fagioli to assist Di Maria in creation and the attacking. What's going to give? Napoli deserves credit because they are actually balanced. Okay. They have only conceded 13 goals themselves. They're having a strong season. So, hey, it's going to be a tight one. And it could very well be this 1-1 game everybody seems to think is going to go down, but could easily see someone squeaking through. I'm hoping and hopeful in my prediction that we start to see the Juve of old and find that way and call in the 2-1. But do we need to be concerned about if we concede first? Well, hey, we haven't seen it in a while. And we went through a major change to get to this point to become so solid defensively. If we fall down, I don't necessarily think anything changed, and I'm not terribly concerned, but I'd like to see us lead just to keep that crowd level, because even if they equalize, they'll be jacked up, but not as much as if they get that first one. So keep that crowd under control too. I think Juve comes out hard out of the gate. Like I said, this is about us testing their credentials. No matter what Spalletti says or anybody says, the pressure is on them. They're the leaders. They're 7 points clear. The pressure is not on us, who nobody expected to be in second place come this match, okay? It's all on them. Juve needs to test their mettle and test those credentials, and I expect them to start out of the gate with everything.
By the way, 2 small things. One, we're the best home team right now in the league. And if Napoli wins, then they go up to being the best home team. So that's another reason to keep it. And last game, when I did the play-by-play for our channel, around the 70th minute, someone wrote to me that we might be nearing the pray to the mustache phase of the game. So, Al, I wanted to point out your mustache becomes pretty, similar to your beard. I think you have to shave a bit because people are praying for the mustache.
Okay, I'll trim it up. I'll trim up the stubble for the
That
watch
makes
along.
me-
I'm cool with that. If people are getting nervous about it, I'll do it. It's for the good of the team. For the good of the
I'll
team.
send it to you later.
Do we see Agnelli in the stands? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I want to mention Romero Gresti tweeted today. This is Agnelli's last match as a Juve president.
Oh,
He'll be
Another reason to win. Yeah, has to be. And
Be nice to-
4,000 fans.
nice to wrap that one up.
4,000?
Would you be worried
Yeah.
if Fagioli doesn't start?
Depends who starts in his place, but yeah.
I agree. I would think I'd still want some variation in there. That would only put it down to Moretti. But right now, if I had to start out of the two, I'd start Fagioli.
Agreed.
So I think we're going to see Locatelli, Rabiot, Fagioli. Everybody, hey, we're getting ready. We're getting wrapped up. There's still like 5 hours to game time and everybody's ready to go. That's kind of sometimes a problem with these lives. When you get a prime time match like that, you got a lot in between. Keep yourselves busy. Let's go. How are we celebrating this one once we win? I love the
Take it
confidence,
easy.
Mike
Take it
Razzo. Let's
easy.
get the job done. And
Mhm.
then, hey, we see you tomorrow morning right here and we'll all celebrate together. And it'll be a Saturday. Is it okay to drink at like 5:30 a.m.?
Oh, I'm all in. Because right after that, I have a Dream Theater show to go to.
I tell you what, I'll spike the espresso tomorrow morning if we get the job done. Okay, so let's do that. I'll kick the day off with a little spike in the cafe. But everybody, hey, keep yourselves busy for a few hours. Get back over to this channel for the watch along. I'm jacked up for this one. It's gonna be crazy for everybody that wants to know how to support the channel. Hey, check out the merch store. Okay, we got a ton of cool designs. This bad boy finally. Oh. Il Principino, love it. We got a lot of cool designs in there. There's a ton of promos throughout the year that'll be jumping up there. That's one way to support. Otherwise, we've got super chat set up, and hey, whatever. Also, just simply spreading the word and sharing the content goes a long way. The AJC Army is the absolute best, second to none. Okay.
100%.
This community is amazing and absolutely love it. And even just watching you guys now interact with each other on the daily update videos, amazing stuff. Okay, so let's get to it. Omar,
I have a question for both of you. Like, if you're feeling the same, since there are 4,000 fans in Sao Paulo and will be in the stadium, I feel like the crowd is back. Do you feel the same way, considering the last games and everything we've seen recently?
It's not. I wouldn't say it's all the way back, but it's full stadium. There's the buzz. There's a buzz in the stadium. It's not quiet. You can kind of hear that buzz when you watch it. It'd be interesting to get feedback from people who are actually in the Juve stadium to see if there's any difference. I know on the one curva they allowed the one banner for Vialli last game, which was good. Just keep that going. Next game, just allow 2 banners and drums.
Yeah.
And the next game, 3 banners and 4 sets of drums.
I was at the Maccabi Haifa match, which is a Champions League match, and it wasn't expensive, and we weren't good back then. The atmosphere didn't feel like it feels to me now. Like the game I was and the games I'm watching now feels completely different stadium-wise. Al?
They're completely different, but I think it's
trending
on its way.
When I went, it wasn't an issue, and the atmosphere was there. The flags were there, the banners were there, everything was full go. So I can't speak to it since. I haven't been there since that. But just watching it, I mean, you can hear that there's a difference there. We're seeing a lot on social media about people that are there, but I think it is on the right trend. I mean, thankfully they allowed a banner for Gianluca Vialli. Let it back to full reign, and let's get back to the fortress that was what the players went through at the start of the year, and facing the fans, which I believe they should have done for the first bit, and they did. Then it got to a point where it didn't really matter anymore, but now they're getting the job done. They're busting their ass, and they've got their heads down and they're working. Let's support them in the best way possible, and that's get as much support as we can. The banners, go on the drums, whatever. If anything, ban the visitors from doing anything, all right? So let's turn it around. That place is our fortress, not theirs. So, yeah, let's back it up. But today, it's up in the Maradona. It's going to be a tough one. But, hey, Everybody, do what you got to do. Your pregame rituals. We'll see you back in around 11:40ish my time, and get ready for this one. It is gonna be a massive game. Let's see if the lads can get it done. Thank you, everybody, for a great live. Thank you, Anthony and Omar, as always. You guys, we'll see you later. RB Comps, hey, kits on the way, brother. Okay, so the kits that were the winners were shipped out, and we had the extra draw, picked one of these Il Principino t-shirts and some sticker sets. That's being shipped out as well. So prizes are all out on the way. Now we wait for the next one. What's the next prize we should give away? We'll have to think about
Whatever it
that
is,
one.
it's mine.
We'll have to see. Yeah, Anth wants every prize. We'll see. All right, everybody. Forza Juve, fino alla fine. I'll see you later for the watch along. All right, ciao tutti.